All right, let's try this again. I made a recording and I don't know, some kind of shit happened. So, over the weekend, I finished watching Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I said I was going to do a follow up thing, so I'm doing a follow up thing, and here is the follow up thing. So, I'm watching this. Stop shaking, that's my dog. Can you stop shaking, please? And stop yawning at my face? Okay, you guys gonna do it again? Come on, get the fuck out of here. Go lay down somewhere. So I'm watching the rest of it, and so the show actually does something that could have been really interesting. So we find out that Reva is actually a one of the younglings that was attacked by Anakin during Order 66. I'm like, oh well, that's a unique twist. And then you find out that because of this traumatic event that she's gone through, she has now engaged in this really intricate and long plan to get revenge by killing Anakin, aka Darth Vader. All right, okay, I guess that could make sense and be pretty fucking cool. Except, except something happened that just again proves the incompetence of these writers and doesn't make any sense. So, few things. First thing, this girl is a youngling. She's learning the ways of the Force. She gets attacked, and she survives the attack, and she decides she wants to kill Vader. And because she decided she wants to kill Vader, she becomes this diabolical evil monster. There's no explanation of so many things about this little subplot. First off, how the fuck did she survive the assault? I must have missed, I must have maybe blanked out, or I went and took a dump, or maybe I was making some waffles, but I'm pretty sure I just sat through the whole thing, and I don't remember how she survived. I thought they showed Anakin strike, but she's alive. He didn't hit her with a sword, he hit her with a lightsaber. So how did she survive that? How did that happen where they just happened to let one of the Jedi that they actually were engaging survive? And it was a child, it was a youngling. So was that explained and I just missed it? So she survived that. That's the first thing. The second thing, what happened to turn this girl into a psychopath? She turned into a sick motherfucker. This girl, and it's not like maybe she was trying to pretend that she was evil because she's trying to fit in with this organization, but that's not it. There was several times where they had to stop her from killing people. She's cutting off innocent people's hands. She tried to murder. She is a Jedi who was attacked and who is now trying to get revenge on the dark side for this attack. But in the beginning of the series, she's trying to murder a fellow Jedi. She tried to murder that guy. They had to stop her. If they didn't stop her, she would have cut that guy in half. So why did they explain why this girl? Are we supposed to just assume maybe she was traumatized and so that made her insane? But that why would we assume that? They didn't show any of that. The last thing we see, she's trying to get the younglings out of the temple. So after she tried to get the younglings and survived this attack, she becomes a monster. That's not explained. It's really laziness, and it's really a lot of stupidity. Then Anakin Obi-Wan discovers that she's a youngling, and he's talking to her at the door at this base. And did she become? Was she becoming sympathetic or becoming more empathetic? And I don't really know what happened there, because at one point she's you're starting to get the feeling that, oh well, being reminded of this traumatic event of her past, and so she's coming back over to the light side or to becoming I don't know how to explain that she's abandoning this psychotic tendencies of hers, but then immediately afterwards when they break open and breach the door, she's like, kill everybody, kill everyone in here, even the children. So is she a sympathetic character who has suffered a lot and who is ultimately a good person, or is she just some sort of sick psychotic motherfucker? None of that is explained. I don't get the laziness of these people and their incompetence. What happened in that whole sequence, in that whole subplot? This woman is actually trying to murder one of her fellow Jedi. And it doesn't give any explanation. She's like worse than any of the other Inquisitors. She's almost worse than Vader. I don't get that. It's not explained. So that was an issue. Then another issue you have is Darth Vader. Darth Vader, they show this guy is just a kick-ass fucker. This guy is he's more powerful than they've ever shown any Jedi to be. This guy's pulling not Star Destroyers, but pulling freighters out of the sky as they're trying to fly off. So not only is he strong enough to pull something out of the sky, he's strong enough to override the thrusters of a freighter. This guy's very powerful. Yet he does stupid things that don't make any sense. So when they're in space, they're trying to kill these people. These people are all gathered in a hangar in this little base with the door open. Yet they close the door. They close the door and then they send down a group to try to open the door? Open a different door? Why did they just drop bombs through the open door into the crowded hangar? Why didn't they just shoot the freighter that was sitting there and disable it and then just fly in the door? Why close the door and then try to open another door? Let's close this hangar door and then try to open another hangar door because for some reason, we closed the hangar door. That shit is insanity. Who's writing these stories? And then they have this heavy cannon that they're shooting at the hangar door to try to open it. But in the next scene, Reva just cuts the door open with the lightsaber. Why did you waste time trying to blow the door open? They're standing there like fucking morons. All she had to do was cut the door open. What? And if Vader is strong enough to pull a freighter out of the fucking sky, why didn't he just go down there and rip the door open with the Force? What's happening? Who's writing these stories? Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. I don't get what's happening in these fucking stories. And another thing that annoys me in a lot of these sci-fi stories is everybody just a fucking an engineer, a mechanic, and an electrician? Everybody. How does Leia know? They send Leia up to get the door open. She's a fucking electrician too? When was that established? Yeah, just send a little kid up there with a little screwdriver. She'll figure that shit out. It's this intense, it's really advanced electrical outlet circuit box thing. Just send her in there and she'll figure it out. Not only will she figure it out, but don't worry, she's not going to electrocute herself to death. Because why? Lazy fucking writing. That's why. How do they know? They didn't even ask her, do you know how to open it? Do you know how to work with electricity and circuit breakers? Have you ever worked with a circuit box before? No, they just said, here's a fucking screwdriver, go up the ladder, good luck with that. We're gonna be down here doing stuff. Just let us know when you've used your electrician skills to figure it all out. Are people in that galaxy just born with all these special abilities? I don't get it. Then we get to Reva's plans. God fucking shit. Reva's life goal is to kill Darth Vader. That is her life's goal and mission. Her mission in life is to kill Vader. That is what drives her existence. Yet her big plan to kill this all-powerful Sith Lord is to just try to take him on, try to fight him head on in a hangar bay somewhere on some random date. She didn't have any other kind of plan. She thought she was gonna beat Vader. God fucking Christ. There's so many ways that you could have killed Vader. She could have put gave some charges to a stormtrooper and then rigged it so that the stormtrooper didn't know what was going on. Sent him over to Vader. When he goes to Vader to talk to him about something, detonate the charges. Vader's done. You could have planted some charges in the engine room of one of the ships, and when Vader flies off, detonate the charges. Blow up the ship when it's in space. Vader's dead. There's so many ways to kill this powerful Sith Lord other than trying to fight him in a head-to-head fight. And he's a Sith. He is one of the most powerful Force wielders you've ever seen. That was her big plan. What was her plan? Did she have any fucking plan? At all this time she's talking and referencing what she's trying to do, but we don't really get a plan. She just all of a sudden says, you know what, I'm going to pick right now to try and kill this guy with a fucking lightsaber. Then they have this awkwardly weird looking fight, and then Vader, who discloses that I always knew you were this youngling, he doesn't kill her. He stabs her, and first of all, she survived a lightsaber attack. That in itself is just laughable, but she survives it, and then Vader and the Grand Inquisitor just leave her there? You don't want to wrap up loose ends? You already know what a loose end can cause. You've just experienced it. You let this girl live when she was little, and she came back as an adult, more powerful than ever. You don't think you should wrap up that loose end right now and be done with it? You stabbed her before and she didn't die when she was little, which I don't understand how that happened. So you're just going to stab her again and leave her there? Why don't you take off her fucking head? Make sure, or use the Force and crush her. Make sure she's dead. I mean, she's still breathing when they walk away. Not only so, Vader's now an incompetent, the Grand Inquisitor is incompetent, and even the Emperor's incompetent. The Emperor doesn't even say anything to Vader like, oh, well, we had a traitor amongst us that was thriving within our ranks all this time, and I see that she's still alive. Go kill her. He didn't ask him, why didn't you kill? There was none of that. They're just, everyone's an incompetent because the story needs them to be incompetent until it doesn't. And then they were not incompetent. Then they're all-knowing. Just whenever the lazy writer needs you to be something, you're going to be it. God, Jesus fucking Christ. These stories are so bad. So bad that you have to wonder, why are these people being given work when they're incompetent? If I ask you to bake me a fucking cake and you give me a salad, I'm not going to hire you again to bake no more fucking cakes. Jesus Christ. I can't get over these stories. I thought the story may get better, or it may get better a little bit. It just got a lot worse. Then Anakin is Anakin is having this big fight with Vader. Vader's dropped some, these guys, I don't mind them turning so many issues with so many little scenes. I don't mind them turning these Jedi into these sort of gods. I mean, that's basically what they turned them into. I don't mind that because it's kind of cool and that's what we expect to see. So whatever, why not? They're pulling ships out of the sky. Fine, that's cool. But you have to make it make sense with the rest of the story. This is a story that's almost half of a century old. These people have never been this powerful before, and they're not powerful after this moment in time within the timeline of this story. If these guys are this fucking strong, why were they having certain issues? Why was Vader having any issues in A New Hope or Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi? How could someone as this powerful lose to Luke Skywalker? I don't understand. Why was the fight in Empire so drawn out and so long? Do you see how powerful Vader is? You can't. It's like I said. It's cool to make them this powerful, but you have to do that with a different story. You can't do that with these characters who never exhibited these levels of strength before or after. It's just this little blip in time that they're this strong. Vader is like throwing around mountains. This guy throws a mountain out of orbit. He's so strong. So he's fighting in Obi-Wan. He drops like a mountain on top of Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan, I guess, catches it with the Force, keeps it from crushing him, and then what happens? He gets a memory, and it makes him strong enough to knock away the rock. I don't understand what happened in that scene. Then you switch over to him. He's overpowering Vader now, and he picks up all of these huge boulders. These boulders are like the size of a large dog. And he's throwing all of these. It's like dozens and dozens and dozens of these large, heavy boulders at Vader. And Vader's blocking the boulders with his fucking arm. I don't know. I don't know what to say or what to think. Vader is not the Incredible Hulk. He is a cyborg with a metal arm. His whole arm isn't even metal. First of all, the metal itself should buckle under the force of all of these rocks. Buckle, bend, and break. That's what would happen. The metal arm would buckle, bend, and break under the weight of all of these rocks, under the force that is all of these rocks being thrown at him, all these boulders. But does that not make sense for the metal to withstand the shock? But let's say you're dumb enough to believe that the metal is going to withstand it. His whole arm ain't metal. Half of it is organic. So what happened? His organic self was able to deflect boulders. His whole torso is organic. A very small portion of him is metal. He's not a robot. How is he blocking these fucking boulders? Who is writing this shit? None of it makes any sense. This guy is blocking dog-sized boulders that are being thrown at him at an incredible rate and an incredible speed. And he's blocking it with one arm. None of them hit his legs. His shoulder, his fucking head. His head's organic. And I'm sure people are going to say he was blocking it with the Force. If he was blocking it with the Force, they would have showed him put out his hand, not put up his arm and the boulders are bouncing off of his arm. It shows the boulders hitting his body, but he's blocking it. He's a man with some metal parts. He's a regular fucking man. God damn it. Just so much dumb shit in these stories. Reva lives somehow. I don't know how she survives it. You get shot with a blaster bolt and you die, but she survives this. Fine. She gets up, she gets in a ship, she goes back to Tatooine, and she's looking for Anakin's son to kill him. Why? Why are you killing his son? I'm assuming she knew that was his son and that's why she was there. I don't remember, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. But why is she going to go there to kill his son? What happened to killing Anakin? He's still alive. The Grand Inquisitor is still alive too. You should have more of a vendetta against the Inquisitor than Anakin's kid, who's living in the desert, who's destitute and impoverished. He lives on a farm in the middle of the desert. I think he's got it bad enough. So she goes there looking for him. It's the middle of the day. She asks a shop owner or some sort of clerk where this guy's farm is. The guy tells her, and then he runs off and finds Owen, the Luke's uncle, and tells him, I just told this black lady with braids that where you live, and she's going to come and fuck some shit up, so you may want to do something. Okay, whatever. Owen goes back to the farm, tells his wife, and then they come to the conclusion, well, she'll come here tonight. How do you know she's coming tonight? It doesn't take that long to get back to the farm, obviously, because he got back there when the sun is still up. So who told you she's coming back there at night? Did she tell the clerk, I'm going to his house at 9 p.m.? And then he relayed that to Owen? Where did they get that from? Who do these writers think we are? Fucking morons? How did he know that she was coming back there at night? Where did they get that information? And then they have the bright idea, well, this force-wielding Sith Lord is coming here. We'll take care of it. It's just a Sith Lord. We got it. We'll take care of it. We don't need no help. We don't need to escape. Hide Luke in the wall and we got this. We're farmers. Farmers with no force training, no military experience, no training of any kind. But we have these old blaster rifles. We got it. So then she arrives, she gets there with her lightsaber, this all-powerful Sith-wielding, force-wielding Sith Lord with a lightsaber, and she's having a hard time fighting these people. Oh, God. This lady that has been in countless conflicts, fended off while they were in the hangar base, the I guess they were the rebels, whatever you want to call them, the people in this hangar base are unloading blaster bolts at her. She's deflecting the blaster bolts. She fights off all these people, an entire platoon of people, yet she's having trouble with two farmers with two big clunky old rifles. Then Owen attacks her with a metal stick, and she's having a hard time fighting off Owen with the fucking metal stick. She has a lightsaber. Oh my God, these fucking stories. I can't get over it. I cannot get over these stories. So then she's fighting them, and Anakin gets there, and I keep saying Anakin. Obi-Wan gets there, and he finds her, and she's about to kill Luke, and he stops her. I think he stops her or something like that. And then she just goes on about her business. So this man whose primary goal is to protect this kid, he's just going to let this bitch live. He knows she obviously has some sort of mental issues. She knows exactly where Luke lives. And he's just going to be like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care. Just stay alive, and I'm going to go off on this magical mystery tour with Ghost Qui-Gon Jinn. Good luck, Luke. Hope you survive. Oh, God. Last couple things. He has this heart-to-heart talk with Leia. If you go back and watch A New Hope, which I guess these ass clown writers didn't, Leia doesn't have that type of relationship with Obi-Wan in the new stories. I mean, if all of this shit happened and they're hugging and she's grateful to him, when she meets him again, I mean, when they meet, the next time she sees him and he's fighting Vader, she just acts like he's just another janitor from somewhere oh, that's that guy? Well, good luck with that guy. I mean, Luke has more of a connection with Ben than Leia was, and Leia has known of him longer and has been through this big traumatic event with him as a child. So why would you shouldn't have included Leia in the story, because now it doesn't make sense and it makes you look like fucking idiots. That doesn't make sense. And then the last thing is, like I said in the last video, you have these two iconic characters who have this big relationship and this history with each other. They've gone through all these traumatic events. The last time that they've really interacted is this big fight where they almost killed each other, where Anakin was almost killed. They come together after all this time, all this history and experience, and they have this big fight, and Obi-Wan cuts Anakin's helmet, and so now they've stopped and they're ready and in a position to talk. There's nothing else happening around them. Nobody else there. They're all alone on this planet, and they're not going to have any type of real meaningful dialogue or conversation. I think Obi-Wan asks Anakin one question, and Anakin kind of ties it up a little bit by saying Anakin is dead or something like that, implying that, the guy you knew was no longer here. And that's all they give us. That's it. That's it. This iconic story that has been around for almost half a century. These two iconic characters, one of whom is one of the biggest villains in the history of fiction. And you don't want to give us nothing? You can't give us nothing between these two? So that's it with this show. This was complete trash. Complete trash. The only thing redeeming about this show, well, not redeeming, but decent about this show, I guess, are the effects, but that's not relevant anymore because that's just how it is now. Effects are great. If you have the money, you can get it done. So that's not relevant anymore. So everything about this was garbage. And I said something in the last episode, the last video I made about Vader not being that much of a monster. And I think I referenced him not killing kids. And somebody said to me, well, he did kill kids. He killed younglings. Yes, Anakin killed the little kids in the temple at that point. But that particular sequence of events, that time, that span of maybe a few days that Anakin was going through, that was like his lowest. He in a moment of desperation winds up killing one of his masters. He cuts down Mace Windu and submits himself to this guy in an act of frustration and desperation because his wife is life is on the line. He's fed up with these Jedi and their stupid religion and not actually using the Force to its full capacity. He's frustrated. He's desperate. He wants to make sure he saves his wife. And this old, pathetic animal on the ground, Palpatine, is apparently the only one that can help him save the only family and loved one that he really has left. So he gives in. And he gives in and he kills Mace Windu. And that shit breaks him. And as a result, this Palpatine guy tells him, I'm going to need you to do this, this, and this so that we can get to saving your wife. And so he does it only to save his wife. Once Padme dies and Obi-Wan beats the shit out of him and leaves, Anakin turns into Vader at that point. But he's already gotten past that low point. Now he's just existing. Now he's just going through the motions as this as the leader of this empire group. I've already destroyed my past and all this. I've done all of this horrible stuff and I've completely gone over to this other side. Now he's just going through the motions. So him earlier in this season where he breaks the young kid's neck, dragging the woman, that's not something he would necessarily do. He wouldn't do this at this point as Vader because it doesn't really serve any purpose. And he's not that type of a monster. That's why he's able to break this at the end of Return of the Jedi. Because he's clinging to that. He's not that monstrous. He's just a broken person now who's just going through the motions and is just, now he's just like a soldier in an army. So him being that monstrous in this particular show just didn't sit well with me because that's not really who he is anymore. That's not really who he is. He not going to do it just to do it. It didn't serve a purpose. Now, if it served a purpose, if he was like, look, Obi-Wan, I know you're here, and if you don't come out, I'm breaking this kid's neck. When Obi-Wan ignores him, then yes, that's the villain Vader is. He'll break that kid's neck in front of everybody. But that scene didn't make any sense because he didn't really know that Obi-Wan was there. This wasn't a tie to any condition that he set for anybody. It was just, I think Obi-Wan's here. I'm looking for him. And hey, guys, look, I can break people's necks and drag women through the street. So it just didn't fit in. I just wanted to clear that up. But other than that, this was a piece of shit. Fuck you, Netflix. Oh shit, this isn't Netflix. Fuck you, fuck you, Netflix too. Fuck Netflix, but fuck you, Disney, because of all the lazy, pathetic garbage that you're doing. You were just destroying things that we love. You destroyed Moon Knight. You're probably gonna destroy Daredevil. I'm sure you're gonna destroy that shit. And you've destroyed You destroyed Star Wars with the sequel trilogy, and now you're just pissing on it now. So fuck you, people. Please do not watch this. And if you do, don't pay to watch it. Try to find it free somewhere. And that's it. I wanted to make this short, and this shit is long too. Fuck. All right, I'm done. Bye.